I aspire to be a giver of love, kindness, good vibes, and strength. I greet New Dawn as a brand new chance to start fresh. I am only interested in things that make me joyous and improved. Today, I will release all toxic thoughts and let positive energy flow in. I am focused on dealing with everything with a positive attitude. I am beautiful inside out and ready to nourish a high level of willingness.
But life has just been lifing. But God is greater. So I wanted to come on here because I haven't been on here in a minute. I haven't seen y'all. Y'all haven't seen me. I haven't been posting. And as y'all know, I too am going through my own journey at the moment. And I still haven't shared everything, but I'm definitely going to be giving you guys that very, very, very soon. As soon as I can come up with like the words. I wanted to come here and talk about grief and how grief plays a part within the healing process. I know a lot of times we think that when we are mourning anything, it is sadness, like we feel hurt, we're crying, we feel empty, we're losing something, so we feel like a piece of us has been taken. And so because we are mourning, we oftentimes rush the process of grieving. And then we feel like during that process of rushing, we just need to move on and forget about it. If we don't think about it, then we don't have to deal with the grief. We don't have to deal with the mourning anymore. Until we're alone and we start thinking about certain things, and then it's like, wait, I realize I haven't forgotten about what I've been running from. And I feel like that's starting to happen to me. I feel like I haven't really given myself time to mourn anything. I haven't given myself time to grieve anything. And I've been running and running and running and running to where I'm sitting and I'm alone, I realize you have a lot that's weighing on you right now. You have a lot that's holding you right now. You have a lot that is like seriously like sitting on your chest. Like, you ever get that feeling of when you're going through something and you just feel like something is just like sitting, like an elephant is just like sitting his whole ass on your chest and you can't breathe? Now, mind you, I've never had an elephant sit on me, but I can only imagine that I wouldn't be able to breathe, and that's kind of how I feel. Blessings. That's all that I want. It's crazy because, okay, so about a week ago, I found myself sitting in the bed. The TV was on. I was on my phone, and then I just immediately just turn the TV off, turn my phone off, close the screen, all the apps or whatever. I remember just sitting in the dark. I remember just crying. I remember just crying. And I remember I was calling out to God, and I'm like, God, why? Like, why am I always having to carry all of this? Like, I didn't ask for any of this. Like, I didn't ask to be strong. I didn't ask, I know the Bible talks about how God would never put more on us than we can bear. You feel me? And I believe that wholeheartedly. But God, get somebody else to do it. Like, that was my whole mindset. Get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to go through this. And for the life of me, I always felt like I was exempt. I'm always feeling like, girl, you exempt. Like, you ain't finna go through that. And it's like, nope, you are. I don't want to, though. I don't want to. I just don't want to. And I think that's why I haven't healed or even started the process of healing, because I just don't know how I'm going to react. I don't want to do this episode anymore. Like, I cannot fucking do this. Like, I can't do this. I cannot do it. I didn't think that this was going to be so fucking difficult. And I feel like everybody wants me to be so strong. Everybody wants me to be so, like, happy. But it's like, that was my best friend. That was somebody that I grew up with. That was somebody that I loved more than everything. Like, somebody that I was willing to go through everything with. Like, I was willing, bro. But then it brought me back to, like, being a little kid. Like, fuck. I'm not doing this. It brought me back to being a little kid where it's just like, when are you gonna choose me? It is currently 3:24 in the morning, and for whatever reason, I am awake. For whatever reason, I cannot sleep. And so, today is pod day. We are filming our first episode. What's up, Journey Believers? It's your host with the most, Symone Ranaye, and welcome to a new season of Her Journee Within Podcast, where healing looks damn good on you, babe. And that's on, period.
I finally arrived. It was so far from luck. Greatness is up to me, and I'm making that choice. I've been taking my time, and I ain't in a rush. I don't wanna miss anything. It'll cost me too much. I'm still coming into my own.
Believers, I am so excited. I'm so excited to be back. Okay? Ooh! Yes, I am super excited. It's a new season. It's a new me. Okay? And your girl is chilling. Your girl is, as you can see, comfy, cozy, because we just gonna unwind a little bit. I wanted this episode to be not too crazy, because y'all know I can get just a little crazy. But I wanted this to just be a nice, soft girl, because you know I'm in my soft girl era. Or at least I'm trying to be in my soft girl era. And I just want this episode to just be dope, okay? That's it. Just a little That's it. Listen, I have gotten your DMs, I've gotten your emails, I've gotten your phone calls, your texts. You guys are very, very, very threatening. Okay, like, I need my episode now, and I need to know if you're coming back with a new episode, new season, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, your girl's back. I have heard you. I am listening. You feel me? I feel like there's so much that I want to talk to you guys about. There's so much that I want to, like, dive in with y'all, but I'm like, let me just relax. Let me just do one thing at a time. Okay, so first things first, if you are new here, welcome. Welcome to Her Journey Within Podcast. This is season 3. Please feel free to watch the first 2 seasons and even take it a step further and watch All Things Women Podcast. Shout out to my women warriors. And that way you get to understand, like, who I am. So I am Symone Ranaye. I am a makeup artist. I'm a content creator. I am a behavioral technician during the week and a bad bitch at night. I like that. I'm about to keep... You feel me? Like, I'm all of these I'm a woman of God. I love God. Okay. Shout out to all my believers. You feel me? And I am the CEO of Journey Beauty. I am a blogger. I am a journalist. I am just a woman, a Black woman who knows what she wants in life. You feel me? I am also a woman that is very broken. I have dealt with a lot of trauma, and I am just trying to navigate through life while healing. Okay. And that's what this podcast represents: authenticity, transparency, honesty, and just being open to healing. That's it. So I want to personally welcome you, and let's get this show on the road. Okay, where do I begin? So I feel like I'm nervous to come back and film, because this is day one of filming, and I'm nervous mostly because I feel like I don't really know if I'm going to be received the same way. The girl that you guys once saw, I'm no longer her. I am in a whole different period of life, and I just feel different. I feel so different. I feel like I don't know whether I'm coming or going. And I think that's just because God is really taking me through such a traumatic season. For those of you that don't know, I am going through a divorce. And it has not been easy. It has not been easy, just mentally, emotionally. But I continue to persevere. I continue to press forward. I continue to go to work, hang out with my friends. I try not to allow that to stop me from living, right? I know a lot of times when we go through traumatic breakups, it's hard getting out of bed some days. It's hard trying to figure out, what do I do next, right? And I can admit that in the beginning, I was stuck on the what do I do next? What am I supposed to do? That has been the number one question that I've asked God for the past year. What am I to do next? And the answer has never changed. God's answer for me is just continue. Just continue. And for some, it might go over your head. Like, what does that mean? What am I supposed to continue? But me, I have been disobedient. And I have not been listening to what God has been telling me to do. And so when he tells me to continue, I know that he means to continue to do the things that he has instructed for me to do, right? And so here we are, another season of Her Journey Within Podcast. And so I know in the past I spoke on me coming back earlier within the year, but it wasn't right. I wasn't in the right headspace. And I'm really big on making sure that I give my audience, my support system, all of me, right? Like I want to make sure that you are getting 100% Symone Ranaye. I'm not going to ever be the type of person to just push something out because I want the views or I want people to be like, oh, you did a good job, I'm proud of you. No, it's never going to give that. It's always going to be like instructed by God. So that's why we're here. The season is going to be lit. I'm excited. And here we go. So back to the drawing board is where I am. I am back to the drawing board. In the beginning of the year, I feel like I was floating. You feel me? I feel like I was here, but I wasn't here. Like, mentally, I was somewhere else. Emotionally, I was up and down. I was very much suppressing what I was feeling because that's what I do best, right? Anybody that knows me, they know I am not one to express my feelings. I think that just stems from childhood and not feeling safe to express myself. Because growing up in my household, there was no such thing as being vulnerable. Crying was weak. If you were to express yourself, you were looked upon as being disrespectful. And I think that's only because I had a way with my words to where I knew how to say certain things that I knew was going to, it was going to strike a nerve. So I was always told like, oh, you're talking back, even though I'm just expressing myself. and not even in a disrespectful way, but I think that's just a Black household thing. So I never knew how to be vulnerable. I never knew how to express myself. I never knew how to be comfortable in showing my emotions. So I always grew up suppressing my emotions. I'm fine. I'm okay. I dismissed a lot of things. I swept a lot of things under the rug. I didn't care to talk about anything. And even now, like, I still don't care to talk about anything. But I do want to address one thing. I really, truly, honestly thank each and every one of you who have reached out to me, who has taken the time to just lend an ear of some sort or just express your gratitude, whether it's for my business, me as a friend, me as a woman, coworker, whatever the case may be. I truly, truly, truly love you and I appreciate you. For those of you that have reached out to me via DM, I promise you, it's not that I ignored you because I hate being ignored, right? It's just at that moment, I really honestly did not know what to say. And I know some of you guys have reached out to me and it was very genuine. I could tell. And I know that it was some of you that reached out to me and it wasn't genuine. It was just a way for you to try to figure out my next move, right? I can definitely read between. And even in that moment, I still did not know what to say. So for those of you that reached out to me and it was coming from a genuine place, thank you. Everybody else, move around. To dive a little bit deeper into me suppressing my emotions, I know that sometimes me just being me, I have trust issues, right? And it stems from childhood. Not being able to trust what you're being told. From something as small as, I'm going to take you here on this day, and when that day comes, we don't go. Simple as that to as deep as, I promise you, I won't say anything, and now everybody knows your business, right? It goes from that simple to that extreme. I don't trust anybody. In this season, God is making me trust people. God is really correcting me to where now I have to rely on people. I have to need people. I have to ask for help. Y'all know me. I don't ask for help. I don't even know how to ask for help. I don't even know where to begin to even say I need help. I don't know how to do that. I will suffer in silence. And that's an ego thing. That's a pride thing. And this is just me being open and honest. And I'm here to help you guys understand that having pride is not always the best. Stroking your ego is a hit or miss. Sometimes you have to be okay with asking for help. Sometimes you have to be okay with allowing people to help you. Even if you don't ask for it. If it's placed on them to help you, allow them to, right? Regardless. You can regret it later. But in that moment, I feel like that's God showing you, like, I'm there. You guys ever heard of the story? I don't know why I want to call it a parable. That might even be the word, but the word parable comes, okay? So there's a parable that there's this man drowning in the ocean, right? And he's like, God, please save me. And so God sends a boat. A man in a boat comes, like, do you need help? The guy's like, no, God's going to save me. Then another guy comes on a boat. You need help? No, God's going to save me. And I believe another man comes on a boat and he asks, do you need help? No, God's going to save me. And then the man eventually drowns and he dies. And he goes up to heaven and he's like, God, why didn't you save me? And God says, I sent you 3 people to come save you. And you refused the help. You denied their help. It's like that with me. I can be drowning and I know I'm drowning. But because I'm so prideful, it's like, I don't need your help. I'll figure it out. And God's like, in this season, God's like, you don't have any, I'm going to sit you down and you can't figure it out anymore. Because the more you continue to try to figure it out on your own, the more you are letting me know you don't need me. And I'm like, well, we both know that's not the case, right? We both know. And this is me talking to God, like, God, Big G, we both know that that's not the case. Like, I really do need you. Like, I really do need you. And it gets to a place, it gets to a point where God has forced me to allow people to help me. In this season, I have been in my darkest. This is my darkest season. And let me not even put dubs on it. This is one of my darkest seasons. I would say my darkest season was when I was 9 years old, right? That was probably my darkest season. But in this season, I would say I was more so shocked, taken aback, and my life was about to change. You guys know I am not a fan of change, and God has been correcting me on that too. Like, everything that I have not been a fan of, God has been forcing me to sit still and take it. And at first I was like, what? Why would you do this to me? You know, like, why would you force me to be okay with change when you know I struggle with change? Why are you forcing me to ask for help or even accept help when you know I can't? Why are you forcing me to express myself knowing that I'm not the most vulnerable individual? And even in those questions, even in the whys, it's like, why not? At some point you talk about growth. It's time for you to grow. It's time for you to grow up, pretty much. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grow up. I'm gonna allow people to be my friend. I'm gonna actually take their word for it and allow them to be there for me. Like, I'm gonna do it. And I can honestly say that's probably the best decision I've ever done, is allowing my friends to be there for me and allowing my friends to show me that they love me and allowing my friends to be everything that I've ever needed. And I can guarantee you all of my friends have shown up for me in ways that I can never repay. I will always and forever be grateful. I will forever be in awe, and I continuously thank God for them in this season. So today I want to express to you guys and just shed some light on what it really means to get back to the drawing board. Starting over is not a bad thing. I know a lot of times we feel like when we have to start over, we failed. And I know a lot of times we feel like if we have to start over, it's because we did something wrong. And I want us to change our perspective on that. I want us to change how we view the term starting over, right? God's grace is bigger than anything. God's love is bigger than everything. But I look at God's grace as another way of starting over, because a lot of people aren't able to get the amount of chances that you may have gotten, or the amount of chances that I may have gotten. I like to view myself as a strong woman, right? I can go through literally anything and still keep a smile on my face, try to remain as positive as I know how, right? I'm human. I'm gonna fall short. I'm not perfect by any means. But when I get the opportunity to start over, I know that God's not done with me yet. I know that I'm the chosen one, specifically because God has granted me the opportunity to start over. When you're in a relationship and it doesn't work out, and you've already devoted so much time, and you've already given so much time, and you've already invested, okay, so much time and energy and love into a person. Like me, I was married. I invested years in time and love and energy into that man. And now that we're no longer together, I have to start over. So if you are in a situation or in a place where you can make those necessary changes, and you've already had to go through the same thing over and over again, understand that God is giving you an opportunity to get it right. But at the same time, don't take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because he's giving you grace doesn't mean that you should just be like, okay, well, if I F up this time, I know I get another chance. Because sometimes it doesn't work that way, right? So you are going to be put in a situation where now God is going to have to forcefully sit you down and allow you the opportunity to start over the right way. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And like I said, like lately this past year, I've been floating, right? And I've not more so been questioning God, but I've been trying to figure out, what is it that God wants me to learn? At what point in life now is God expecting of me to do? Lately, I've learned I'm very dismissive. And I may work on that. I may not. I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's just a personal little observation.
I also learned that in this season, I am very nonchalant to a lot of things, but I think it's just because I'm numb, right? And in starting over, there is a process of where you may feel numb. I'm there. I begged God to numb me, right? And I'm going to talk about that probably a little bit deeper in the season, but I begged him because I didn't want to feel. I didn't want to feel heartbreak. I didn't want to feel anger. I didn't want to feel anything other than just getting up and breathing. And he granted that. But now he's forcing me to feel the things that I begged him to let me suppress, right? A lot of times you don't want to bargain with God. A lot of times sometimes you just got to go through it and just trust him and know that he's going to get you through it, right? So be better than me, okay? In your journey of starting over, you definitely need to have a great support system, right? You have to, because at some point you're not going to feel motivated to do shit. I'm just going to keep it a buck. A lot of people feel like, oh, I got this. And granted, you do. But you're going to have those days where you don't feel like you have it. You're going to have those days where you feel like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So that's when you need to lean on your support system. Luckily for me, I have the greatest support system. I feel like they have held me up when I didn't care. Like, they remind me of who I am. Not saying I ever forgot, but they constantly reassure me, like, you're fine. And not in a way of being dismissive, but in a way of, like, just reassuring me, like, you're fine. You got this. So when you have a good support system, and these are the 3 women that I know, like, I can call and talk to them about anything without judgment. I feel safe. I've never experienced that. So it's a little uncomfortable for me because I've never experienced that type of safety when it comes to expressing myself and being vulnerable, right? And then God had placed new people in my life who have been introducing me to new things. So, like, seeing life differently and going out more and actually being okay with, like, dressing up and being a pretty girl. Not saying that my best friend and my sister have never done that, but I'm used to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are people that I've known for a long fucking time. So I could look any kind of way, not any kind of way, but I could look, I don't feel like I have to try, right? And so when God placed these new women in my life, I felt like, okay, I'm accepted. Like, I could be on my pretty girl shit. I could be on my tomboy shit. It's almost as if, like, I'm still with my sister and my best friends. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate them wholeheartedly for just being open and just being there. You feel me? Like, I think in this moment in the season, I just need genuine people to be there and to be the way that I am, because I'm there for everybody. And I think God is allowing me to see that I am worthy of someone being there for me. I just have to be open enough to accept it, right? Once again, I don't ask for help. So sometimes when it comes my way, I reject it. And God's like, no, I'm not letting that happen. So here we are. Having a good support system is important. Understanding God's grace is not to just be taken for granted is important. Learning yourself is important. I think in this season, I have had the most fun I've ever had in my life. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy that something traumatic has to occur for me to want to appreciate my life a little bit more. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And lastly, understanding that starting over is not a bad thing. I want to encourage you guys who are going through what I'm going through, or just even in the process of trying to figure out who they are or where they want God to take them. I want you guys to understand that starting over is a beautiful experience if you allow it to be. Be open to new things, try new things, date if you're not dating. Dating. We're going to get into that for sure this season. But date if you need to date, try new foods, meet new people. Don't be accustomed to the same thing. Change is actually a beautiful thing if you allow it to be. And this comes from somebody that hates change. Like, I like things to be consistently the same. And that's why I'm in this position I'm in now. Because I got too comfortable in the same things. But God is great. You want something to say?
Yeah, everything has an expiration date.
Everything has an expiration date.
So,
and here we are.
Learn to be accepting of what's to come.
Learn to be accepting of what's to come. And that's from the words of the wise. But believers, I told you this episode was going to be super light. comfortable, chilled. If you are starting over, embrace it. Thank you for tuning in to our first episode of the new season of Her Journey Within Podcast. You already know who I am. I am your host with the most, Symone Ranaye. And understand that healing looks damn good on you, babe. Okay? Bye.